So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZWGames5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below.
What's up YouTube, Darry Evans Everall Games, and we did it! I got my invite at the Brotherhood Regional, 214 players. I finished 11th with Dinos. I went X2. Losing to Heroes and to Spiral Extrav. So there was 8 rounds of Swiss. My first round was a mirror match against Ben, who came with us. So one of our team members I actually had to face, which was quite painful and sucked a little bit. But the mirror match was kind of fun doing it that way. Second round was Infernoids. That was interesting to watch him resolve a reasoning and mill like 40 of his 60 cards, which was fun again. And then round 3, I played Spirals. Round 4 was Spirals. Round 5 was a mirror match Dinos, and they were all Brotherhood players, so they're all very, very good players as well. Round 6 was against Extravagant Spirals, and game 1 I gave him the Dogoran Kaiju, but I banished all my big monsters off of Extrav, so I couldn't get rid of it. That was a play on me, and I misunderstood the rule with passing priorities. From the main phase to the battle phase. So a bit of a misplay on that one behalf. And then game 2, again, bit of a misplay as well. He sided in loads, he did a very, very smart play. He sided in loads of back row. So he sided in Mystic Mine with Land of the Demise plus Judgment. So the idea was, I didn't have any Twin Twisters in. The only out I had was Mystic Mine. He would have been smart enough to keep his cards or Judgment it. It wasn't until after the game that I stopped and thought, wait, I could have just lost World and gave him a token. So a bit of a brain lapse during the tense last rounds kind of threw me off of that one. Then round 7, I faced another team member, Alex, who had been doing really, really well with Altergeist, and we had a very, very interesting interaction with a Chain 5 link. It went Chain Link 1, Oviraptor, Chain Link 2, Lost World, Chain Link 3, Crackdown, Chain Link 4, Miscellaneous, Chain Link 5, Imperm. And it turns out the way it resolves is Crackdown will still take. So Imperm negates Oviraptor, Crackdown takes Oviraptor. He still gets the token. Luckily that worked out for me because I had a Prankotops in hand, so I was able to special summon that and continue to play from there. And then round 5 was Heroes, and I just couldn't deal with Darklaw. Like, the card was insane. Like, his first board, he set up Darklaw, passed over to me. I then made a gamble in game 2, so he won game 1. I made a gamble in game 2 to go first, and it worked for me. I built a board that he couldn't break, and I had Sanctums. And then I took another gamble in game 5. I thought he would have been the type of player that goes, right, okay, I'll let Dinos go first. I can build a better OTK board. He didn't, so I left in my Sanctums instead of my evenly matches. He went second, built up an insane board with like nearly 2 Darklaws, and I opened up the Sanctum, which would have ideally been an evenly match. So that was just a gamble on my behalf that didn't pay out. Regardless, very, very good weekend, or very, very good day. Got my invite to getting into 11th. There was like 27 invites, so I definitely guaranteed it, even without pass downs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the profile now that I've gone on with this, show you exactly what we've got, and I'll also show you my side deck, and I'll talk you through, because one thing that people keep asking me is, like, what do you side in, what do you side out? So I'll take you through the matchups that I kind of had, and what I put in and what I put out. So, without further ado, let's crack on with the Dinos. Now, this is all be straightforward and simple on this one. Triple Oviraptor, insane, it's such a good card, searches or sends, whatever you need. This isn't a Dino, but it might as well be right now. It's triple True King Agamazoo. This card's insane, and there was actually a play that I made where I used Agamazoo. I used Agamazoo in hand to pop a second Agamazoo and a Lithosagam, because then this Agamazoo summons, and the Lithosagam's effect goes off in grave when it's destroyed, so it then summoned back a second Agamazoo, which is really, really cool. That pretty much gave me game over my opponent. This was in the Dino Mirror, I believe, round 5. So very, very kind of cool interaction that way. Triple Baby Ceratosaurus, you know, gotta love the True King version right now. Triple Miscellaneous, insanely good. Double Ultimate Conductor, you don't need 3, it will brick hard. Double Dogoran, put in a lot of work today as well, or yesterday. 1 Giant Rex, 1 Lithosagam, what a boss. Love this card coming back, so, so good. I didn't rip from people's extra decks that much, but when I did, the issue was, because they all play multiples of their key cards, the only thing you were really ripping were like the OTK cards or like the set up boss cards that they really, really needed. So one petite period don't need it I any more than that. I tried it at 2 previously, it didn't work, it was more of a clog, so I dropped that down. The one Pragatops, obviously straightforward and simple on that one. The one Overtex, I actually saw myself siding this and pill out a couple of times purely because it is a like really, really bad brick. The one time it helped me is in the Noid matchup. They were kind of like, yeah, how many cards you got left in your deck? And I was like, I've got like 3 less than you. And then I had the Overtext in hand, so I was able to, once I had the 5 banished, I was able to special summon the Overtext, bring it back, bring all the 5 back, and pretty much the game was there. A card I added in at the last minute was double Ash Blossom. Now, I did have Dracaelio, I did go for the Trish play, and then right at the last minute I went, no, I really don't like that. I hated the Drac, it was so much of a brick. I put in Ash, and Ash actually put in a crazy amount of work for me. Crazy amount. There was a couple of times when it got gammoned, and it was like, yeah, okay, cool, that sucks a little bit. But so many people, like there was a couple of Dino players that I faced that were main in Droll, and I think Ash was better for the generic, just for the old Rogue matchup. And it actually put in so much work for me, it was crazy. It probably put in the most work next to this card here, and that was Extravagance. Extravagance in the early rounds were great. I wasn't banishing any of my big cards at all. I still had boss plays to go for. Towards the later end of the games, this is where it started to hurt because I was banishing 6, and I was losing all of my big boss monsters. There was a time in the Dino matchup which I resolved this twice, got rid of my entire extra deck, because I'd already used 3 extra monsters and was able to win the game because of it, because it got me into a UTC. Very, very good card. I personally right now wouldn't race to buy them because I reckon they're going to get reprinted in Dual Overload. Once that reprint gets announced, the secrets will start to drop in a little bit in value. So if you can pick them up on a deal, definitely do it. It's required for Dinos. I would like to think Dinos aren't going to get hit on the ban list in April, but I heard we had something mentioned yesterday, and it could really, really shake up the meta, and they'll probably look at again doing what they did in this ban list just gone, and going, right, Dinos are close, Autogeists are close, Spirals are close, Lunalights are close, let's nuke them all. Oh, FYI, the final of yesterday was Lunalights versus Trains, so a massive shout out to the Train player, Tom, another Brotherhood player. Did amazingly well with that, went EXO. Sadly, because he lost his last round, he ended up finishing 4th, but that's still good enough as it is. Triple Fossil Dig, all the search, triple Lost World, all the protection, all the token. This kind of sucked in the mirror match though, because it was just like, okay, cool, if you give me a token, I'm going to destroy during my deck, and in the first round mirror match, it really, really hurt. Double Mystic Mine, you got to love to hate this card. Unfortunately, in the meta that we're playing at the moment, where it is literally, I'm going to build my board, what can you do? This puts in so much work. Like, this would have been great against heroes, like really, really good against heroes, but I never saw it. Very, very good card, very, very powerful card, and you kind of have to play it. So, yeah, as much as it's a shame to play it, you kind of have to. For the other field spells, we've got the one Dragonic Diagram, the one Set Rotation, and the one Terraforming, of course, and then the one Double Evo Fill. And then for the traps, triple evening match, you have to play this. Yes, you want your battle phase, but with matches like Spirals, where they put so much onto their first board, put so many resources, and especially back row decks, like even if they Judgment, they're still 4k down. That still means it's easier when you put a UTC on board as well. So evening is very, very important because, again, I wouldn't rush out to buy this. I expect this to get another reprint in Overload. Can't guarantee it, but very, very likely could do. I definitely recommend keeping your eye out on it because it's insanely powerful. Yes, you want the battle phase, and I was talking to a couple of other Dino players that came with us. Yes, you lose your battle phase, but being able to break apart a board and get rid of so many resources is worth it. Like, even in an Inferno play, I evenly matched them for 1 card because it was Mystic Mine and 1 monster, and just by them having to banish that monster face down, they couldn't use it, and it actually hurt them and bricked them quite a bit. Moving on to the extra deck, we'll go with the Link 4s first. We've got the one Borderload Dragon, never made it. It was there for the Spiral matchup to steal the Sleeper. Sleeper use effect, pop, and then nukes their board. Appaloosa uses so many times. The combo that I ended up getting, like, so many people were shocked because they were like, oh, I'll make Dinos go first. They're not going to be able to do anything. And my board was ending on an Apo with like 3 to 4 negates plus a Lagyard, Dolkar, or any other rank 4 I wanted. Heater, again, really, really good card. Less so right now because there's not a lot of fire running around. It was good in an Inferno matchup, within reason, because you can only really revive the Decatron. But it was also good in the Dino matchup because you could revive the Miscellaneous. And then as long as you keep hold of that Miscellaneous as a material or something, they can't banish it. So put in a bit of work. Wasn't a lot, but put in a bit of work. IP Masquerina, I actually resolved the effect like twice. There was a play that I made, and it was part of a misplay, but then worked out really, really well for me. Is in a Dino mirror match, I banished my Unicorn, and I had IP Masquerina and I think it's like not Miscellaneous, so it's IP Masquerina and one other monster. And I used IP's effect and went into Heater, thinking that Heater was a quick effect, so I was going to revive the Miscellaneous to stop him. It actually worked out in my favour, but because it wasn't a quick effect, I realised it after I summoned it. It was the only option I had, otherwise I would have lost IP. And because it's 1850, his Overraptor couldn't get past it. But because I did that play and went into this, he searched out Pranktops off of Overraptor. So he then couldn't special summon the Pranktops because I controlled the same monsters as him. So it actually worked out really, really well in my favour. Pentastag, never used it, but obviously give you UTC piercing and off you go. Unicorn to come off of IP. Phoenix just to deal with any troubles in back row, never had the issue with that at all. XYZ Double Dolker, use this 9 times out of 10. This is the one you go into if you can't get into your Apo. Lagia, the one you go into if you can get your Apo, because then you've got, rather than having 6 monster negates, you've got 4 monster negates plus a spell or trap negate or a summon negate. For the other rank 4s, we've got the one Exiton. I was partly tempted to make this against the Inferno player, or a player that was just setting loads of back row, but I chose not to. Daenerys, I think I used once, and that was just to finish off the game. Abyss Dweller, never used it, but you know, it's a standard. Like, one thing I'm missing instead I would have liked to put in was like Tornado Dragon, and I'm actually tempted to put in the the Dragon as well, because it gives you nice blanket negation, or protection, sorry, and a nice non-target destruction. The one card that I just can't let go of in this deck is Ragnar Zero. I love this card compared, like when you combo it with Lost World, it's like a very, very good interaction. Now sometimes out of 9 out of 10 you probably want to go for a Dolker over the Ragnar Zero, which I completely understand. I used this in a Spiral matchup, literally made Ragnar Zero, detached, popped a card, drew a card, passed to their turn, let them build up a board, and then the second they put a monster on board, because I got Lost World, I used the effect detach it. So he played Spiral Agent to pop my field spell. I then chained Ragnar Zero to detach to pop and get a draw off of it. That kind of gave me a little bit of extension, but I ended up losing that game anyway. But what I'm saying is that the Ragnar Zero is a very, very nice option as well. If you can't get a third Dolker, or you know, I think it's a really, really fun card. I'll probably take it out personally now, but it's one of them, like, I love this card so much because no one expects it. Like, even though a player that tried to do a Utopia double on me, that's fine. You can Utopia double, go into the next one up, double its attack, and I can just go, okay, you forgot about Ragnar Zero, so Ragnar Zero is just going to kill that. Very rare that's going to happen, but anyway. The one VFD, made it once, and that was probably after the game had already technically finished, because I'd hit him for 2 Agamazoos, overlaid into this, passed my turn, there was nothing he could have done. All the matchups were great fun. You could argue that I should probably play more multiples because of Extravagance, and I was thinking about playing the Trishula and Dracalio, but I really couldn't do it. Every time in testing, it just wasn't coming up. Onto the side there, of course, triple Lightning Storm. I think I put this in. I used it once or twice throughout the entire tournament. It's not worth its price tag. Wait for it to go down. It's just the best card in a bad set. I used it twice. I've seen some people main it. I'm not a big fan of it because it requires you to control no face-up monsters. But like the only time I used it, I had to ram one of my monsters. He cracked down my UTC. I had to ram my Miscellaneous into the UTC, destroy it. Then main phase 2 Lightning Storm, which ended up getting Judgment anyway. So not worth the price tag right now. Dark Ruler no more. Never really saw it, to be honest. I put it in against. It's great against the Spiral matchup. Amazing against that. Very, very good against the Hero matchup as well. But again, just never saw it. Twin Twisters. I put this in against my Ortgeist matchup. Like, had to be done. It did a lot of work. Worked quite nicely for me. Droll went in pretty much every game I played, apart from the Ortgeist matchup and Infernal matchup. So went in against my 3 Spiral matchups. Went in against my 4 Spiral matchups. Sorry. Went in against the Dino matchups as well, so it put in a lot of work, slows them down massively. Definitely, again, more of a side card than a main card. I'd rather main Ash over this. And then lastly, triple artifact and 1 scythe. Now, again, it's good for when you go first. You have to have a card in this that will stun your opponent massively for going first. So something like a rivalry, or like the alternative is your rivalry with this, which would be really, really good. So I might actually try out rivalry and see how it works for me. I think I resolved this once and it never made any difference whatsoever. So it's something I'll look into. It'd be nice to probably knock this down to 3, like a 3 rivalry, and then kind of put Twin Twisters up to 3, or put like a nice little one of in. But yeah, not a necessity on that one. What I was taking out 9 out of 10 from my deck is, if I knew I was going to go first, even these came straight out. I would drop a Kaiju down to 1 because it was searchable if I required it. I would take Lost World down to 2. There was the odd occasion that I took out at least Overtex and sometimes Pill when I was going first, because I want my combo to go off. I want the combo to be Diagram Baby, or any ability to kind of get into the fast plays, really. Sometimes I took out Pranktops and I took out an Agamazoo, like 1 Agamazoo. Depending on what I was siding in, because 9 out of 10, I think the least I was siding in was 3, and that was Drawing Lockbird. This was probably the most sided in card over the entire weekend for me. But yeah, like, you kind of need to know, like, it's a little bit easier in this deck because you're like, right, I'm going second, so I'm going to put all my go second cards in, take out all my go first cards. I'm going first, right, I'm going to put in, like, I'm not going to put in Dark Ruler no more and Lightning Storms for going first. I'm going to put in my Twin Twisters and my Artifact Sanctums and obviously the Drolls. So, yeah, that's kind of just the way it worked for me over this weekend, and the way it went. Congratulations to all that got to the top 8. So the top 4 were Lunar Lights. Heroes came second. Well done to him. He's only like 16 as well, so he did really, really well in that tournament. No one was ready for Heroes. Like, Dark Lord is so good. Like, I say it all the time. It's such a good card. And then with Sunriser as well. Like, his end boards were insane. Like, 1 Dark Lord at least, plus Bane, plus Sunriser, and all of them are getting a nice little boost as well. So that was second. Third was Extrav Spirals, and 4th was Trains. Now, 2nd to 7th were all X1s. The only 8th place was an X11. So I had 1 draw. Everything after that, for about 20 up to 24th, was X2s. So 9, 10, 11 were all high-ranking X2s, which was myself. So it wasn't a bad weekend. It was just like such a big turnout. 1 draw or 1 win. Like, not misplaying against the Extra Spirals. I might have been able to sneak something there. The hero one, he just like, he won game 1, I won game 2, and then he went from there. So it was, you know, I wasn't prepared for it at all. Like, hands down, was not prepared for heroes. So that's one thing. Like, I would like a Super Poly, or I just kind of didn't play it the way it probably could have done. But regardless, very, very fun. Love the Dino deck. And a shout out to Carl on this one. It turns out that dog's going mad now. Someone's knocked to the door. It turns out that I've got my invite with Dino. So I got to day 2 of YCS. Not YCS, sorry. Day 2 of Euros with Dinos. I got my first regional top with Dino Thunder, or one of my regional tops with Dino Thunder, and I got my invite with Dinos. Previous to that, it was like Dracos. So, you know, it's definitely an interesting kind of matchup and an interesting play to kind of work with, and I'm definitely going to look forward to playing Dinos further on. But come into later on in the year as well, when we go back to Master Rules, this might change depending on what the ban list is. If this doesn't get touched in Master Rules, definitely playing Dinos. But anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, guys, happy dueling.